Hello, English learners. It is nice to meet you. In this video, you will learn narrative text. Narrative text is an imaginative story with complicated or problematic events, and the main participants in the story usually try to find resolution of the problem. Are you ready? Good. Let's start with the purpose of the narrative text. The purpose of the narrative text, or the social function of narrative text: 1. To amuse or to entertain the reader with the story. 2. To teach the reader by showing moral values indirectly. Next, you will learn the form of the narrative text. 1. Fairy tales. The example of fairy tales are Cinderella and Snow White. 2. Fable. The example of fable are Mouse, Deer, and Crocodile. The Ant and the Dove. The Lion and the Mouse. 3. Legend. The example of legend are the Legend of Tangkuban Perahu, the Story of Toba Lake, and the Story of Malin Kundang. Or myth. The example of myth are Nyai Roro Kidul, Dewi Sri, and Betara Kala. Next, you will learn generic structure of the narrative text. Are you ready? Good. 1 is orientation. Orientation is the beginning of the story that consists of introduction of characters or participants: who, time, when, and place, where. 2. Complication. A problem arises followed by other problems, which leads to the crisis or climax for the main participant. 3. Resolution. The problems are resolved either in a happy ending or in a sad, tragic ending. 4. Coda or reorientation. This is the closing remark to the story, and it is optional. It consists of moral lesson, advice, or teaching from the writer. Now, listen and read the narrative text below. Are you ready? Good. This is the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Cinderella who was very gentle and beautiful. She lived with her bad stepmother and two stepsisters. She had to do all the household chores. One day, the king invited all the ladies in the kingdom to go to a ball in the palace. He wanted to find the crown prince a wife. The stepsisters went to the ball that night with their mother. Cinderella was left alone. She cried because she actually wanted to go to the ball too. Just then, a fairy godmother came with her magic wand. She gave Cinderella a coach, two horses, and footmen. She also gave Cinderella a lovely dress to wear, ball, and a pair of glass slippers. She told Cinderella to come home before midnight. At the ball, Cinderella danced all night with the prince. The prince fell in love with her. At midnight, Cinderella ran home. Unfortunately, one of her glass slippers slipped off at the door. She did not have time to put it back on. The prince was sad because he could not find Cinderella again that night. The next day, the prince and his men brought along the glass slippers and went all over the kingdom to search for the owner. After searching for a long time, finally they came to Cinderella's house. The slipper fitted her. The prince was very happy to find Cinderella again. They got married and lived happy ever after. Okay, that's all for today's story. Now it is time for you to answer the questions based on the story above. Are you ready? Good. Question number 1. Who is the main character in the story? The answer is Cinderella. Number 2. What type of narrative text does the story belong to? The answer is fairy tale. Number 3. What does paragraph 1 tell us about? The answer is paragraph 1 tell us about character of the story, time, and place of the story. Question number 4. What is the purpose of the narrative text? The answer is to entertain the readers or to amuse the readers. Number 5. Who helped Cinderella when she wanted to go to the ball? The answer is fairy godmother. Number 6, the last one. Why did Cinderella leave the ball suddenly? The answer is because it was almost midnight. Okay, English learners. Next, you will learn language feature of the narrative text. Number 1, narrative text using past tense or verb to. Example: killed, lived, ate, drank, came, walked, went, sang, slept, found, rent, was, and were. 2, narrative text using adverb of time. Example: once upon a time, many years ago, one day, a long time ago, a week later, ever after. Number 3, using time conjunction. The examples are when, then, before, after, suddenly, soon, as soon as. 4, using specific character. The example are Cinderella, Snow White, and Alibaba. 5, using adjective. The examples are beautiful, old, young, pretty, clever, tired, big, lazy, arrogant. Number 6, using adverb. The examples are angrily, slowly, happily, carelessly, carefully. 7, using direct speech. For example, I smell like cinder, said Cinderella to the fairy godmother. Number 8, using time order. First, second, third, next, meanwhile, at last, after that. I think it is enough for me to end this video. Good luck. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe this channel. See you next time. Goodbye.